Everybody's got patterns. And until you know the patterns, you cannot fix them. So this is what I'm about to tell you. The ball, even though they're kind of the same, can change. If I were going to pick one fundamental in the game of golf, it would probably be... Today you are going to see how the greatest of the greats, the greatest golfers in the world train, because not only are we training with the putting coach of Xander Schauffele and Phil Mickelson, we are training at his house. Let's go! And so for those that are watching, the reason why I like this system, it's called Quintic, okay? The reason why I like this system is because everything else basically adds weight to the putter. So there's a thing called the SAM Putt Lab, which is awesome. It looks at the putter working in 3 dimensions. There's Capto, it's the same idea, which it can tell how the face is rotating. It can tell how high it's swinging, how low it's swinging, how much the putter is arcing or not arcing. It can tell all kinds of things, how much the shaft is leaning or not. So it's, I guess you would call it 6 degrees of freedom. So up and down, around, and side to side. And so there's a blast sensor that goes on the end of the, I don't know if you've heard of blast, but there's a sensor. Actually, I'll show it to you. So this is a blast sensor. Okay, so this blast sensor, it fits in here and then it goes on. And then it measures what the putter's doing. But all those things added weight. And now the putter might not feel exactly like your putter. Yeah. So there's another company that's coming out that's doing something like this, where it's 22 gram weight. So the Capto is 60 grams and it goes in the middle of your putter. And it's like, when you putt with it, it doesn't feel like your putter anymore. Now it captures data, which is great, but are you gonna do the same thing when it's not on there? Okay, so now what you're gonna do is you're going to set up to this T-square, because this T-square is aimed perfectly down the center of this mat towards the middle of that hole. So you're gonna take your setup gently with the putter all the way against the metal and full setup, full grip, everything, exactly how you would before you hit the putt. And then I'm gonna hit a button and calibrate that position. So that way it'll know, like, oh, he's aimed perfectly and the shaft is sitting how he would sit before he putted and all of that. So
I switched up my grip too, but I mean, it's the same grip, but that rather than reverse, it's just like regular.
That's fine.
Lock. Yeah.
I mean, that's gonna be like a work in progress, probably.
100%. Yeah,
so the ball is gonna sit where these 2 T's are.
Okay.
So when you snuggle the putter up to this T-square, just kind of do it slow and gently. At the time when I first got this, there was probably, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 people besides me that had this machine in the state of California. And there are probably only 50 of them in the United States. And it's mostly like golf club companies that do R&D. So gently put it in there and tell me when you're ready.
Yep, I'm ready.
So we're gonna collect some data, okay? So this is 10 feet and I know we're in a garage and I know the ground is flat and I know we're putting on a mat, but these dots are also gonna be measured by that camera. So when you take your setup, as long as the dots are facing that camera, they can be turned any direction. Okay. As long as they're facing that camera. The ball is gonna go somewhat near the 2 T's. So when you look at the screen, you see how those dots are facing that camera? Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of that comes up on this TV. And for now, because you don't even know what they mean, like the data. Yeah. And so we'll hit 10 or so putts. Unless I see something that's like super gross. Yeah. And then I'll go, all right, I've seen enough. You do this every time, this was what needs to change. These are Xander's golf balls, and it's a Chrome Soft X, which is a very common ball. The firmness of it, the cover, the softness of the cover and all that, this is very similar to all the balls that everybody pretty much plays on the PGA Tour. Okay. Whether it's a Callaway brand, or a TaylorMade brand, or a Bridgestone, they're all kind of the same. So this is what I'm about to tell you. The ball, even though they're kind of the same, can change the smash factor or the impact ratio. And back when balls were changing all the time because these manufacturers were like trying to get them to fly higher, spin more, go farther, so these players could control it, it f***ed up everybody's putting. It did great for the driver and the irons, but nobody measured what it was doing with the putter. Got it. So all these guys, all of a sudden, they couldn't control their ball on the greens and they're putting bad for like a few years. Oh, dang. And then they kind of figured out, well, we never even thought about checking the putter.
Yeah. And so what kind of ball you use is definitely going to change these numbers, even though they're similar.
Okay.
And if it changes it by 0.01 or 2 or 3, it's freaking different.
Okay.
Okay?
Dang. Okay, so I should probably consistently use the same ball.
You got to use the same ball every time you play. And if you're trying to go from scratch to scratch,
yeah.
Pony up and buy good golf balls. So we're going to start measuring. So again, when you put the ball down, make sure that these dots, because I don't want them like that. So you see the screen, how it's kind of jacked up right there? That's like perfect.
Should I hit it?
Yeah. You can go for it now. Okay. Grab the other one. Make sure the dots are, facing just like that. Yep. So did you hear that little beep beep?
Yeah.
That tells you it's ready to go again.
Okay.
So your speed is getting better. I remember you were like, dude, I don't know how far it's going.
I'm still having problems 20 plus right now, but.
Okay. Cash. That's
money.
Nice.
Cash money.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Oh my God, dude.
It's bad.
No, it's really freaking good. There's some things that are unbelievable how good they are.
Maybe.
That's okay. The speed is just a little different than the last one, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We might need to hit a few more than 10 because you're a little bit all over the place.
A little sporadic.
Yeah, but that's okay. You do some really good stuff. Yep.
That felt good.
So can you tell, like, you're hitting this ball like straight down the mat every single time? Mm-hmm. Like, I've had people miss the mat, like put it off the mat. Think about that for a second.
That's wild.
It's not very good. In fact, that sucks. We'll do this last one and then we'll have you sit down.
Oh, I didn't.
That's okay.
That's bad.
That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. The face of your putter, it has these grooves on it. And so these grooves are meant to make the ball turn over and roll. Okay, so I don't want to bury other putter companies, but there's some putter companies that make really nice expensive putters, but there's no technology in them. Mm-hmm. Like, they don't talk at all about like how good their putters are in terms of game improvement. And so you have a putter like this that has a different face. So I was talking about toe hang. So do you see how this one doesn't hang with the face pointed at the sky? The toe is down. Mm-hmm. The material on the face is different also. So Odyssey came out with this a while ago where they have this insert, like a lot of players think it's a better feel for how the ball's coming off the face. So this one the toe hangs even more. So you can see the difference. Now, your face control is pretty good.
Okay.
Well, we were just saying the ball was going straight down the middle of the freaking mat.
Yeah.
Like, that's a player should be able to do that to some degree, but how you were doing it was actually
scratch
like,
level, hopefully. Well, eventually.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. So if you see all these colors, right? So if you look at I know there's a bunch of different things on here. So if you look at all these colors, the green means that's pretty good. Red is not it, right? And then the amber or orange is like, it's not so good either. And then if you see blue, which you had plenty of, in a couple different categories. One, how much is the face twisting when I hit it? And two, how square is the face when I hit it? Mm-hmm. So if I mishit the ball, if I take this putter, and I know it's hanging toe down a little bit, but if I hit the ball out on the toe hard enough, do you see how the face is kind of twisting a little bit? So if I hit it towards the heel, it's going to close a little. So toe open, toe it twists open, heel it closes. So that's this bottom right corner called club twist. So that's orange, you hit it in the heel, the face closed 0.3 degrees. Here's the interesting one. On this particular putt, you were aimed 0.0, that's like perfect. But then during your stroke, you opened it 1.4 degrees.
This way?
Open.
Yeah, open.
So to the right.
Yeah.
You know what? Have a seat. Sit in the throne.
Game of Thrones.
So this was a Christmas gift from one of my students. That chair is like super sick. He got like my logo put on it and all this stuff. It's pretty cool. Okay, so if we go with a summary over all the putts that you hit.
Yeah.
Face angle. So if it's green, it's negligible. okay? If it's blue, that's basically what a robot would do.
Okay.
Okay, like if you had the putter locked into a robot and the robot moved like super nicely every time, the face would come back to 0. So if you look at this, so your face is 0.03 at impact.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I go to what the ball data is, a face that's 0.03 would hit the hole right there if the putt were straight. A putt that was 0-0 from 20 feet would hit the hole there. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to the other end of the spectrum and get it kind of a putt. Okay, yeah, so let's go to one of the reds. So the second putt was, the face at impact was 1.5 degrees to the right. I mean, you're gonna miss the hole from 8 feet. So you see where the ball is at 10 feet?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So from 8 feet, you're gonna miss. If you're looking at face angle and where you are on average, now average is a weird thing, right?
Yeah, it's more of the median.
It's the range. Because if you're like 1 degree right and then 1 degree left, and 1 degree right and 1 degree left, 1 degree right, 1 degree left, well, your average is gonna be 0.
Yeah.
But you're gonna miss every putt, even though your average is good. So the range is what we're looking for, and if you look at this one, your minimum left was 0.08, your maximum aim right at contact is 1.82. That range is almost 2 degrees. That sucks.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Now, you did some really good ones. So I'm not gonna throw you under the bus. Like as a beginner, like I'm not gonna throw you under the bus for missing. But if you go and you look at just the face, so you're pretty good here on putt number 1, a little too far right, good, a little too far right, a little too far right, good. It's just to the right, you aim to the right. It's not necessarily your aim to the right, it's where the putter face returns, okay? Mm-hmm. So we can see it's actually slightly left, way left, slightly right, slightly left, perfect. So you're all over the place, but initial aim, but you always open the face. Mm-hmm. Open 0.69, open 1.79, open almost 2, open over 1.5 degrees, open 1.5 degrees. So to me, that's a pattern. Now it'd be great if you aimed left every time, but you don't.
Yeah.
And so what our job is for you to get better as fast as you can is to figure out all your patterns. Everybody's got patterns. And until you know the patterns, you cannot fix them. Mm-hmm. Like I said, you had some really, like when you return the face to the like blue 0, I was like, dude, that just shows your dexterity. It shows your coordination, and that's fantastic. It would suck if all of them sucked, because I'd be sitting here like, why did I agree to work with this guy? But at some point, so Xander Schauffele, Xander's dad, said, you either have talent or you don't. Mm-hmm. And I agree with him to a certain extent. Like, you have to have some ability, right? If you have none, if your lineage of however billions of years didn't have any athletic ability, it's freaking hard to teach.
Yeah.
Could you learn it? Yeah, I think you can learn it. But it helps that you played other sports. And it seems easy because the ball's just sitting there and it's not moving, but when the wind's blowing off your left and down and you're standing over a putt, and it'll make you want to do weird things.
Yeah.
And so that's more stuff that we have to. Is that a little bit down the line? Yes, it's a little bit down the line, but it's something that it needs to be in the back of your mind, like what's happening. I mean, we're in a room, like with walls that are helping you aim and do all these things, even though you don't realize it, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so we're gonna keep going here. So face rotation. So you see all those numbers are green.
Yeah.
Well, they're also all the same. How that face is closing is the same every freaking time. Guess what we're not going to talk about anymore?
Face rotation.
We're not going to talk about face rotation because you do it the same every freaking time. Okay, where you hit it on the face. So this is good for all your viewers. If I were going to pick one fundamental in the game of golf, it would probably be contact, no matter what club it is.
Yeah.
I need to hit the driver in the center of the club face. Mm-hmm. I need to hit my 7-iron in the center of the club face. I need to hit a wedge in the center of the club face. I need to hit the frickin' putter in the center of the club face.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, the same gear effect laws apply. Toe strikes cause hook spin. Heel strikes cause cut spin. Low on the face could spin backwards, depending on the loft, right?
Yeah.
High on the face could put more overspin. Like the same, it just happens at a slower pace because this is a precision shot, right? This is a finesse. This is not a power shot, but the same rules apply. So centeredness of contact is huge. Now, I mean, there's going to be people that argue with that all day long. Oh, well, speed's important. And I think green reading is important, like huge, because if you can't read, well, then putting's luck. And so you need to be able to aim. And so somebody with a 7-iron would say, well, I need to be able to aim correctly. And that might be the most important fundamental. But if you don't hit the ball in the middle of the club face, then how can you predict how it's going to come off? And oh, by the way, if I miss the face, the ball speed's going to change. You follow me on that?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so let's go to ball speed. Well, your ball speeds were all pretty good. Remember, I was gonna say